Welcome into biology. At this point in time, we're dealing with what is termed as osmosis, active transport, and diffusion. I would like to let you know that mostly in the examination, there is always a question. Let me not say always, let me say there is mostly a question based on what is termed as osmosis, active transport, and diffusion. Why I mentioned the three of them is that these questions are mostly linked together. And this topic can also be linked to cells, as you saw from the question that we solved for the year 2023 and 2024. Mostly they are interlinked, but there are times when they become independent, like the way we have it in 2024. So we are saying that when we talk about osmosis, I want you to understand that this is the diffusion of water molecules across a selective permeable membrane. And you must understand that in osmosis, water molecules move from a region of high water potential to a region of low water potential across a selective permeable membrane. In other words, I'm saying that water moves from a concentrated region to a low I beg your pardon. In other words, I'm saying that if you had distilled water and maybe glucose, water will move from distilled water to the glucose. In other words, I'm saying that water moves from a region of low concentration to a region of higher concentration. That is the movement of water molecules in respect to what is termed as diffusion and osmosis, not forgetting active transport. But osmosis deals with the water molecules, diffusion particles, active transport ions. So let us answer the question based on osmosis, active transport, and diffusion. It says identify the parts labeled F and G. So F, this one will be known as the glass tube. This one is a glass tube. G, this one is known as the whisking tube. That's what G is. State the property of G which makes it to function in the experiment. G is a whisking tube. For osmosis to take place, there has to be a selective permeable membrane. And mostly why the whisking tube is used is because the whisking tube is selective permeable. So the property of the whisking tube that makes it to function in this experiment is that it is selective permeable. It is selective permeable. I think when I spoke on cells, I mentioned that selective permeable, actually the word itself permeable means allow. It comes from the word permit. So the whisking tube is selective permeable, meaning it to allow certain substances to pass through and others not. Mostly fully permeable to solvents or liquids, but selective permeable to solutes. Only those that are very small will be able to pass through. So remember, for osmosis to take place, there has to be a selective permeable membrane, and there has to be a gradient between the regions that the experiment is being carried on. At the end of the experiment, explain how the following would have changed the levels of glucose. Remember, I mentioned to say in osmosis, water molecules move from low concentration to high concentration. So at the end of the experiment, we'll find that the water levels, what will happen to the glucose levels? It will increase. So we'll say that the glucose levels will increase. And if we are told to give reason for our answer, we would say this is because water moves from low concentration to high concentration, or water moves from a region of high water potential to a region of low water potential. So in this case, the glucose solution has low water potential because it is concentrated of the glucose. What will happen to the water levels in the beaker? So the water levels in the beaker will reduce. The water levels will reduce or will decrease. The water levels, sorry, I beg your pardon there, will decrease. The water levels will reduce or decrease. Then what control experiment could be carried out alongside in the experiment? So a control experiment refers to that aspect in an experiment that does not change. So here you can just say put water in the whisking tube. In the whisking tube. So at that point, you would have operated on what is termed as a control experiment. And I said a control experiment refers to the substances or materials in the experiment that remain unchanged. So name two other methods of movement of particles of a substance apart from the one being demonstrated. So you're going to tell them to say we have active transport. Then we also have what is termed as diffusion, of course. We have what is termed as diffusion. These are the aspects that will remain unchanged. Then in 2021, we also had a problem that was asking us to say Figure 1.1 and 1.2 show freshly cut potato chips suspended in a solution at the beginning of the experiment after 2 hours. And then it goes on to say, okay, so we have the experiment at the start, at the beginning, and we also have the experiment after 2 hours. And then the question goes on to say, explain how the difference in appearance, explain the difference in appearance of the potato chip after 2 hours. What will be the difference in the potato chip after 2 hours? So you will learn that in this case, after 2 hours, we find that the potato chip in solution E has reduced in size. It has become smaller. So we are saying that the potato. So we are saying that the potato chip in E has become smaller. This one has become smaller. The potato chip in E has become smaller, while the potato chip or chips rather, let me use chips, not just chip, because that's one. So the potato chips in E has become smaller, while the potato chip in F has become bigger. It has become bigger. And then it says that based on the appearance of the potato chips in solution E after 2 hours, what term could be used to describe solution E? What term could be used to describe solution E? So if it has shrinked and crinkled, it means that the solution it was put is hypertonic. It means that it was put in a hypertonic solution. What could be the state of the cells in the potato chips in F after 2 hours? So turgid. So we are saying that after 2 hours, this one is going to become turgid. Yeah, that is turgid. Okay, so it will be turgid. Then they're saying that state the importance of the state of cells in B1 above to the plants. So it provides support. It provides support to the plant. Then explain the meaning of the term isotonic solution. These are solutions at equal. These are solutions at equal concentration. That is what the term isotonic is. Thank you.